Production of phenylalanine. Before getting into this, we should know exactly what is phenylalanine. There are many amino acids are present, almost 20 amino acids. From that, essential and non-essential amino acids is also there. Phenylalanine is one of the essential amino acid, which will have a neutral as well as a non-polar components present in it. When compared to alanine, only a benzyl group have been replaced instead of a methyl group in alanine. That's why we have termed this amino acid as in phenylalanine, we can say it. The molecular formula of phenylalanine is C9H11 and NO2. This have been used in many of the medical industries and also in food industries as in supplements, and also for some flavoring agents they are using it. And this will be already have been used as a direct precursor for some of the neuromodulators and all. And especially in E. coli, we can say in general, the E. coli can able to convert an aspartate, which is also an amino acid, into this phenylalanine. There are many methods have been commercially used for the production of phenylalanine, as we have seen. We can see in the next slide, upcoming slides and all. For the commercialized production of phenylalanine, we can say there are many genetically modified microorganisms have been used. Some of them are E. coli. How this genetically modified, we know exactly which enzyme or which gene is specific for the production of the phenylalanine or conversion of this amino acid, that will be modified in order to enhance the production of phenylalanine. Because when it comes to commercialization production, it have many advantages and uses and all. So it requires a strain which can give a good quantity of phenylalanine. That's why this for commercialization they are going for only the genetically modified strain. Some of the E. coli or Corynebacterium glutamicum have been used. So this is the structure of the phenylalanine. Some of the foods which are very rich in phenylalanine are soya foods, cheese, nuts, seeds, then lean beef, and also lamb, chicken, turkey, pork, fish, tuna, eggs, dairy, beans, and lettuce. These are the basically the rich foods of phenylalanine. So if people are suffering from phenylalanine disorders or many diseases are there, so they can have all these foods also which is naturally present. Biosynthesis of phenylalanine. When compared to any other amino acid, this is quite complex, because not only the phenylalanine can able to be synthesized or the conversion will be occur, even though two more amino acids can be occur while this pathway is happening. Tyrosine, one is tyrosine and tryptophan. And as we already know, some of the specific enzymes are very important while undergoing some of the intermediate stage to the our final product. This is what exactly the bioconversion will be occurring. So if you have we already know about the glycolysis pathway. In glycolysis pathway, if it have reached the phosphoenol pyruvate component, this will combine to the erythrose 4-phosphate. This both will be combined together and it will form an intermediate called DAHP, which is deoxyarabinoheptylosonate phosphate. This will be converted into chorismate with the presence of an enzyme DAHP synthase, and this chorismate will be converted into periphenate with an enzyme chorismate mutate, and this periphenate will be converted into phenylalanine with the presence of periphenate dehydrogenase. So these are the 4 enzymes very important for the conversion process or biosynthesis process of our phenylalanine. And here this periphenate have been used as a precursor in the synthesis of tyrosine. Here we can say the erythrose 4-phosphate and also phosphoenol pyruvate will both combine together to form an intermediate component which is called as deoxyarabinoheptylosonate phosphate by an enzyme synthase, and on further conversion this intermediate will be converted into sickimate intermediate. This sickimate on further conversion of and also the presence of sickimate kinase, chorismate will be produced. This chorismate can also produce tryptophan, but because of the presence of chorismate mutase enzyme, it will be converted into prephenate. This prephenate will also further undergo to produce the tyrosine amino acid, but because of the presence of prephenate dehydrogenase enzyme, it will be converted into phenylalanine. So this is the exact bioconversion of or biosynthesis of the phenylalanine. Okay. So already we have seen this in cystine production itself. Because of the glycolysis in glycolysis pathway, in the glucose will be converted into fructose. This will be undergo different stages, and this phosphoenol pyruvate component will be utilized for the production of phenylalanine. Even if have been converted into pyruvate, different amino acids will be there. So in glycolysis pathway, we can say only at the step phosphoenol pyruvate step, the erythrose 4-phosphate will combine and it will give a further conversion of phenylalanine. Okay. So the exact production of, and it comes to an commercialization production, we can say it is very complex, and also it is high in cost. They went also for the mutated species. Most of the mutated species have been utilized. For example, the genera like Brevibacterium, Cornybacterium, Orthobacter, or as Bacillus, Candida have been used. These have been required only the aerobic fermentation method, and same like nutrient media have been utilized for the conversion of product. Before getting into this, there are also many different analogies who are present in the phenylalanine. So while making a strain, that is mutant strain, we should know exactly what are the basic analogs have been present, which will affect if we have changes that specific gene. It may also affect the production of your phenylalanine. So for that mutant species, we should exactly know what are the analogs have been present. So some of the analogs are beta amino and beta phenyl propionic acid, ortho meta para fluorophenylalanine, and also beta 2 or 3 phenylalanine, and ortho para meta of aminophenylalanine, and some of the alpha amino beta phenyl ethine sulfonate, and also beta 2 pyranol alanine. These are some of the analogies which will affect. So how this analog is, it may be inhibit the microbial metabolism, which is a mutant metabolism, and microbial growth will also be affected. So in order to overcome this inhibition method, the phenylalanine protection cannot be enhanced. So we should be very careful while selecting the mutant. These are some of the mutant species. We can say one is that Brevibacterium flavicum, and also the gene which is genetically modified. They will represent this strain like EFRM and P422, and some of the components like Brevibacterium lactofermentum, and also Brevibacterium lactofermentum with some other strain, and Cornybacterium acidophilium, and Orthobacter citricus, and Bacillus subtilis, and Candida lipotica. So these are the mutant species, which is genetically modified species for enhancing the production of phenylalanine. So it's basically the requirement of a microorganism while formulating a media. What are the basic components required is carbon, nitrogen, inorganic salts, and also some of the organic nutrients such as vitamins and amino acids. The carbon sources are glucose, fructose, galactose, mannose, mannitol, sucrose, glycerin, starch hydrolate, molasses. Even though alcohols such as methyl alcohol, ethyl alcohol, propyl alcohol, and butyl alcohol have been used, Some of the organic acids like acetic acid, lactic acid, butyric acid, propionic acid, and fumaric acid is also while making this nutrient broth. And paraffins are being used also. Some of the aromatic components, phenol, benzyl alcohol, benzoic acid, and nutrient sources such as nitrates, ammonium salt, gaseous ammonia, ammonium hydroxide solutions, and urea. These are the common exactly common nutrients formulations which is used for the commercialized production of phenyl. In order to achieve a very good yield of phenylalanine, they are also carried out some of the aeration process and agitation. The pH should be within 5 to 9, and in order to achieve this pH, they are also adding some of the ammonium or calcium carbonate or alkali components and all. The temperature required for the fermentation process is 24 to 37 degrees centigrade, and it requires 2 to 7 days for achieving the production. So this is the upstream processing. Exactly, we know about the overall production. We have to select the mutant, then the media formulation, then we have to sterilize that media, then it will be sent to the seed fermenter, then again to the production fermenter. Here the inoculum will be used, and the agitation and aeration should be provided. The pH should be maintained within 5 to 9. The temperature should be 24 to 37 degrees centigrade. If it is over after 2 to 7 days, the production have been carried out, the phenylalanine have been carried out. So harvesting of the product will be comes, it's everything will be there, and after it will undergoes downstream processing, which will be the cells have been harvested, it is filtered, centrifugation process is carried out, then ion exchange chromatography is used for further purification, then precipitation of only particularly phenylalanine will be happen, then after that they have drying that into a powder, and then it is packing down. So this phenylalanine will also have many advantages. We have seen it. The usage of phenylalanine is it is acting as in medical field, we can say it, as in depression, for the treating depression and ADHD diseases, which is nothing but attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, then Parkinson's, chronic pain, osteoarthritis, and rheumatoid arthritis, and alcohol withdrawal symptoms, and also for some of the skin diseases they are using this phenylalanine. And majority of this overall work will be carried out. There are many managements of phenylalanine have been used: stress management, discomfort management, mood management, and also in energy support. So in medicinal field we can say, like if some of the people is having a different thought process, or else we can say they have a mood change, or else they have been stressed, or they are very discomfort, for that treatment they are giving this phenylalanine. Okay, so these are the overall production as well as the uses and applications of phenylalanine. Yeah, thank you.